We're ready.
I have now switched everything in my house over to LED.
It's 7.
Are we ready to go?
Yep.
Okay. 7:01, I'll call the meeting to order. And we have anyone here that would like to give us an invitation?
I'll do it.
Thank you, Barry.
I invite everybody to pray with me, so let us pray. Almighty and merciful Father, again, we come to you in prayer tonight, giving you thanks and praise for all that you do. Lord, we ask that you lead us and guide us, giving us open minds and big hearts. Lord, we ask you that tonight, during this meeting, that you give us the courage to make the right decisions for the village. Lord, we ask that you bless and keep us and save our souls for Christ in heaven. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Barry. Okay, is there any discussion on the agenda? If not, I'll take a motion to approve as submitted.
So move.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Any discussion on the July 27th, 2026 meeting minutes? If not, I'll take a motion to approve as submitted.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Okay, at this time, I'll open the meeting up to public comment on agenda items only. If it's here on the agenda, you're welcome to comment on it. You have 3 minutes each, and come up to the microphone and state your name and address, and you can talk about anything on the agenda. Does anyone wish to speak? Okay, in that case, we'll move on to the ORC report. Arnold, please.
But on your report, pump station's all doing well. It's a good report for you. The bar screen did get put in at the school, so it's in service now. Waiting on the verbal station, and I'm sure we're gonna talk about that. We have had some power outages, so we have had generators running, so that's been working well. NC 62, we still have a pump out down there. They are waiting on a cable connector, but once we get that in, we've got 2 pumps in service, working, but we've got a spare one. We'll have it back in the building probably sometime next week. Distribution, we got THM sampling 1st of August. Haven't heard from that yet, but that usually works out pretty good. So, other than that, questions?
Okay, thank you. Trenton, engineering report, please.
Thank you. Heritage Glen, we've completed all civil inspection work. Everything has been approved and certified to the village and to the state. So they are good to move to their stuff with Alamance County. Start moving forward in that process. For the Birch Street pump station, I know I wrote no update on here. I talked with the contractor this morning. He's looking to begin Monday of next week. Then for the Citgo, we anticipate construction hopefully beginning in this upcoming month. So we'll be completing inspections on that for the site and for utilities.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Misty, the update on 2971 Elder Lane?
When code enforcement was here this last week, I talked to Paul about that. Pat. There hasn't been any people activity at the house for the last week. So that's according to neighbors. But the fines at this point, so they're being fined $100 a day for grass and $100 a day for trash. So it's $200 a day. They're at $4,200 right now in fines. Plus there is the $1,300 plus water bill. We're going to let those fines run. Pat said he felt like if nothing is done to the grass, it will not be abated. He said the thickness and the growth probably would not die out until January. So it's got a long time to go, depending how you want to handle that. I did as much research as I could. I've tried probably 30 or 40 different times to reach out via email or calls to the homeowner with no luck at all. Letters have gone to her with no luck. I've given the information that I found to our attorney. I spoke with the social worker who works with her son, and she had a last known address, so I passed that along as well to Paul and to Pat so that they could at least send the letters to the last known address. But other than that, I don't, outside of just that continuous increase, it would be your decision, I'm sure, based on whatever Paul would recommend, how long you want to let those fines go before you want to start either a lien process. I don't know if we should do a lien for the water bill and then let the fines accumulate to a point.
Yeah, I mean, you just wanna let it run long enough so that it is kind of worthwhile, because you're gonna have some cost going forward. You know, with code enforcement and with us getting that lien placed on it. And then if you really wanna do a foreclosure down the road, you just want that dollar amount to be high enough, okay? I will tell you that we did the title work on it, and we did not find a mortgage or a deed of trust against that property. It seems to be free and clear. So you would get your money back out of it, the money for the fines. I know the biggest thing is just gaining control over that site more than anything else. So, and we have tried to get a little bit more information from DSS, and you know that's always hard to do because they have confidentiality rules too. But we're there if they need some assistance in doing something with that property, because in theory there could be kind of a guardianship set up with the clerk's office where that money could go to, pay for the owner's care and that type of thing going forward. So that's what we'd like to see the outcome, because otherwise, we want to get control, but the fines are not going to amount to anywhere near what the house is worth. Right.
So how long will the county let the taxes go before they crack down on it?
Too long. I've seen them run 3 years, 4 years sometimes, especially if they know it's a problem piece of property. They don't want to go through all the steps. They let it build up to. Yeah. If it were yours or mine, it'd be about 10 days.
Oh, I think,
Okay. But they look and identify the property, and they figure out pretty quickly that it's going to be a problem with service, and just scratch a little bit on this property, you realize there's a lot behind the scenes too. So it's just a matter of when, in my opinion, and that sounds like, give it some time. At $200 a day, that adds up pretty quickly, right?
Do you have a particular number that you think we should try?
What I would think is, have the neighbors continue to watch it. The more quiet it is, you can give it a little bit longer in time. But I would say you really don't want to go past, into September, October, that kind of thing. Because it takes a while to go through this process no matter what. Yeah, but it would end up being sold, basically at a public sale type situation. Okay.
I think Misty's question is, how much do we have to have the fines? What is it actually going to cost us between you, the sale fees, and everything else? I'm not looking to make money on this, but I don't want to lose any money.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see it kind of be in that $8,000 to $10,000 range. And the fees and court costs would be added to whatever judgment you get. And since this is kind of a rare situation where there's actually equity in the property, like 99 times out of 100, there's nothing. You're foreclosing the lien, and you're really just doing it so that it change ownership. In this case, taxes get paid off first, right? Alamance County and the village taxes get paid number one, and after that are liens and costs and everything. But I would think, I haven't run all the tax work, but I don't, you're not going to be underwater on this sale. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that your measurement of time is less about the dollars, and if we have any communications with DSS and we feel like we've run into a complete dead end on getting in touch with anybody, and nobody knows anything, and DSS caseworker doesn't have any information, then that's kind of the roadblock I would look at. If there's an opportunity there to do kind of good on both sides, then maybe that's the case, right?
Do you know if the DSS worker has been in touch with, because she told me she asked me if I knew where he was and I didn't.
No, I don't know.
Okay.
I didn't know whether she had any contact or not.
She had reached out, she told me she would reach out to his therapist and if she could find any information for a known address or anything, she would let me know, but they don't know where they are.
Yeah. So what you're gonna run into is a service problem, right? Same thing on the taxes. You can post it and you can publish notice, but you're probably talking about a 3 or 4 month period to get them served, because you have to attempt personal service first and post it, and it's it'll take a little while. So if we have no opportunity to get a hold of either a guardian or somebody that has contact with them, really we should probably move sooner rather than later, because if there's nobody on the other side, it's going to take a while to get it all served anyway, right?
Okay, so before the next meeting, if we've made no progress, can you prepare a resolution that we'd have to approve?
Yeah, sure.
To proceed.
Sure, absolutely. We can draft something up and maybe, I haven't talked to DSS yet, so maybe have her reach out to me and see
Sure.
what they know and what history they have, and if they have any prior addresses or anything like that. Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So, okay, this put aside, I take it the grass is really high now, is that correct?
Yeah.
So is there anything we can do to help the neighbors, around this property by going in there? Do we have the right to go and mow it to get this thing under control before January?
Code enforcement can help with that.
We have to do an administrative warrant because there's a private property
Yeah.
sign, so we'll have to put that. But as soon as we mow the grass, the fines are gone.
But it's okay, it's just,
Yeah.
that's the balance.
Right.
You do get to charge like the cost of all that administrative procedure and mowing the grass, so it's weighing out.
But the trash would
We
still
cut
be
it
there.
ourselves, we still,
Well,
then it says
we
the
can-
grass parts.
We can clean the trash too.
We can clean the trash as well, but, so if we remedy both issues, we would put the cost of that into, but then the fines do cease because they'll call it abated.
Yeah.
And that's, and I
Once
know
we
that,
built the fines to enough to
Right.
cover what we're doing, we should do that
Right,
for the next.
that's what I was thinking, once you get the fines up, then go in there if nobody's been found, clean it up, so at least adjacent properties don't sit there and have rat issues or rodents and
that's true.
all other problems. I can't imagine mosquitoes and different things with the rain we've had on it.
And there is a pool in the back of the house that's,
That probably needs to be drained.
That's probably a health-related issue as well.
Yeah.
So I think what you have to do is just kind of balance, do you just want to spend some money and clean it up? Knowing that you're going to get that money back as part of the sale process eventually, and start this process earlier. I know that the fines kind of help you make that decision, but then how long do the neighbors got to deal with it just while the fines are going up? You're going to get reimbursed your out-of-pocket cost and your cleanup cost, as well as any enforcement cost as well. So you're probably looking at breaking even, but fixing a problem, which it's kind of rare that you get to do that.
Okay, so let's see, over the next week or two, talk to state code and find out what their procedure for getting the warrant and how long that takes and everything.
And I'll reach out to Rick Stevens and the county as well to see, just explain to them the situation we're having with this, so that maybe we can coordinate like a tax enforcement as well. If they know that it's part of a bigger plan, maybe we can make that happen at the same time. Okay.
Okay.
And this is off topic, but kind of on topic, because I did get an email back yesterday or today from Rick Stevens about the trash. I know that was an issue that one of the ETJ members was here. And he said, much of what you guys already know, they've already put out a request for proposal for trash service because that franchise agreement turns over and will be awarded in December. And there's a lot of discussion about having multiple carriers within the county be available instead of giving it exclusively to just one. So if you have a problem with one, you can call the other one and set up your service. I'm not sure how that's gonna work, but that's for them to dance with. But, we don't have the right to go do it. He just said, anybody in that area that is having a problem, the more they voice those concerns to the county commissioners, they're very interested in listening to that and trying to find a good solution for that in this current process. And now is the perfect time to do that. So if you communicate that to them, and they can communicate that to all their neighbors, maybe just get a better provider on their side. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Paul. Okay, moving on to new business. Misty, you want to give us an update on what yard waste cans would cost the village?
I did talk to Christopher about that. So he's got a couple options. We talked about the number of residents that are, homes that are here, around 450. And then he tried to think about how many he services. And he would recommend that if you would like to purchase yard waste cans, he would start with probably $225. And that cost is $16,000. There is a minimum order if going down the road you found that more people were interested in it, you have to order a minimum of 185. So we have the option to pay outright for the cans. He would recommend that we order them in brown with yard waste written on top and the village seal on it. And he's either we can pay outright or he is open to kind of financing them and we could pay monthly for that cost. So I think right now he just did an order, and I don't remember the town that he told me, but I think they're paying like $800 a month until they pay it off. So in talking with him, he said he could see reasons for doing it and reasons, if you weren't comfortable with that, not to. Because, I mean, what they're doing now is working. He always gives you as an example for the prime yard waste. But he also said, if you look at it from the standpoint of people don't have to use bags, you can fill up the can and that can would sort of be equivalent to, I think, 2 stacks. And then you could have a couple extra stacks if you needed it.
How much is a can? Have you calculated that out?
I just got some of the pricing from Christopher today, so I'm not really sure what we would have to, we would have to probably do a flat fee for yard waste to help.
Or the person buy the can, that's why I
Or
wonder how much the can is
Right.
Well, I'm doing that.
versus paying for bags.
16,000 was 200.
Was that with the name? Was
$225.
that with the name?
That's, printed up to like $72 a can.
So you can take it out, let's say you paid, I want a can. You
Right.
Take it out for over a year off the water bill over a period of $10 a month, or it'd be less than that, probably like $8 till it was paid off.
Yeah.
Do something like
$6
that.
a month would be
Yeah.
paid off in a year.
You know, once it's paid off in a year, then it's mine, or.
Yeah.
And then if you don't want it, the people wouldn't have to do it, it wouldn't be a cost to do.
Okay, what I'd like to propose is we have Misty send out a text and put it on the next water bill
Right.
that, tell people, would they be interested in getting a yard waste can at $6 a month for the can, and they could use it for yard waste and it would be picked up, twice a month now?
He does. Christopher does yard waste every other week.
But after a year, it would be theirs, kinda like paid up, and then we don't have to pay
So I mean,
for
I
the
guess
can.
you could, a person could outright purchase it,
Right.
if they wanted to,
Yeah.
but Christopher, because I did ask him, would it be any cheaper for residents if they just went to Lowe's or Home Depot? And he said for a rollout can, it's probably $100+. So it's a more expensive for a resident to go to purchase one from a Lowe's or a Home Depot. And I don't know that myself. I've not investigated that yet, but he did say, they average $100+ a piece.
Yes, so, so put it out, they pay us, $7 a month for a year, and then they go in the can, and, it won't change anything else on their yard waste.
Okay.
And they would get picked up and be more convenient for them, are they interested?
Okay, so we'll, put a survey up, I know with the text.my.gov, we can do the surveys. So we can do a survey to see what the interest is at that cost, and if we have enough interest, then, I can bring that back to you, and
Cause you have to order at least, what, 100?
we have to order a minimum of 185.
This come up for a particular reason?
Ken brought it up once, and we've had other people bring it up, that, it's a service that would improve these people's ability to get rid of grass clippings and everything else, and not have to put it in bags and have them, it'd make Chris more efficient, he bills us every hour, and, he has bags break and he has to clean it up on the street and everything. It would
And,
just make things
keep them
cleaner and
from
neater.
bending and lifting all the stacks, so they could grab the cans, throw it in, and be done. But then, are you going to limit one can per household?
That's where, that was gonna be my
That's-
next question, so what does this change overall?
Right now, it would probably be a maximum of 2 cans per household, because that's what we allow in yard waste pickup, is, it says it's equivalent to 2 of the piles. So 2 cans would be the 4 piles we allow in yard waste. And it would make Chris more efficient picking up, and as I said, he bills us by the hour on this. So it's one of those things that we could essentially do it for no cost to residents and make it convenient and save us some money in the process. It's a lot of, like, Greensboro just shifted over to cans only, they don't allow loose leaves or anything else, you have to put it in their cans now and all.
No offense to Greensboro, I'm not basing anything off of what they
I know, but, yeah, they did it, they also did it because they were having workers' comp problems and everything with picking it up off the street and all, and the cans are just easier to handle and created less problems with their workforce, which I think was one of their primary drivers. It was getting rid of the workers' comp claims and picking up yard waste.
But you'll still have the large amounts during certain times of the year that's not gonna hold everything, so.
Right.
Yeah. If they have 1 can, they get 2 more piles without paying anything extra. So, and then they could always pay the extra or save it. With the can, it also becomes easier to save it for 2 weeks if you were doing something.
I just figured as we were trying to fix a product, something that's not broken necessarily.
I think it's come up when you had the pile that was in front of the house and it was so big, and then I think Ken was
That's-
talking about keeping it more contained.
Well, that was more of, you're not supposed to put your yard waste down until people were putting their yard waste down 2 weeks in advance, because that's when they did it, like,
And, at least it'll look cleaner in the can than stacked up on the street for 2 weeks. The pile.
well, it's not supposed to be out there for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, it's already out there. Around down Brookstone, there's piles all over the place already.
It's
Maybe
worth-
if we had a can, they wouldn't take a can out there.
Yeah,
They would
it's a
still
lot
leave
easier
it
to
out
roll.
there for 2 weeks, they're gonna keep it up at the house.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to roll the can down than to remember to drag 3 bags down on Monday night. I think it's worth gauging the interest. It doesn't cost us anything to use systems and find out if people won't want it or not.
Yeah, it's worth finding out, but there's no guarantee that people are interested in cans aren't the ones that are exceeding it. They don't care. But it's worth finding out.
Okay,
We can do that.
so we'll leave it for for next month, and, okay. Misty, your quotation on, the building sign?
I did reach out to Beechwood Metalworks and I talked with Cassidy and I've got I sent her the emblem, which I put up on the screen. You guys can't see it because it's on that one, I'm sorry.
Okay.
So that's what the cutout would look like. That's the mock-up of, how it would look. She gave us an option of 3 different metals, aluminum, corten, and stainless. And she was explaining to me that the corten steel and the stainless steel are both heavier options. I did send her pictures of the building so she understood, it was a metal building, and she has a little bit of concern long-term with the heavier metals hanging up there, that it could potentially cause some sagging or, maybe not, but they would come out and do a better examination of the inside, the interior, exterior of the building to see how to mount it so that it, would be as sturdy as possible. They would go, so the corten kind of, they call it a self-weathering. It ends up, she sent me some pictures of it. I think it sort of goes to almost the way copper looks. It ends up having that patina on it. Yeah. So I think it's a pretty choice if you want to let something weather over time. The stainless is going to hold pretty well. And then her recommendation is the aluminum, just because it's a lot lighter. It's the lightest one that they can do, and this would be a sizable piece that they would probably have to do in a couple of pieces. The aluminum would come with a clear coat so that it protects the aluminum, because the aluminum will rust and not be pretty.
It doesn't rust, it oxidizes.
Yeah.
Well, the corten rust too. I stay away from corten. When I was at Cornell, they did a whole building out of corten, and the rust stuff from that made a mess of the windows. They ended up replacing every window in the building with a special glass that wasn't etched by what was coming out of the corten.
Okay.
Age.
Okay.
So it was a problem. And
So I think aluminum is a good.
I want you to go back and ask her this question. So aluminum, I think we need a powder coat, because I'm gonna get a lot of feedback if you don't do black or white. The other thing is, ask her, write this down, if they can do it in a laminate plastic or a Delrin, Delrin, it's plastic, or HDPE. Because if they can coat it out of a plastic, it's probably gonna be a lot cheaper to weight and something that'll hold up for quite a while, because it'll be a quarter or maybe even a little thicker, and see if that brings the price down. But see what she thinks about the plastics.
Okay.
Or
All right.
powder coat the aluminum, because I think if we don't do a powder coat, it's not gonna look good being just a silver up there. And we don't want the feedback we had the last time.
No,
If we do it, let's
that's,
do it.
and she did tell me that they could powder coat,
Yeah.
and that it will be more expensive than the quote you
Right.
see in front of you.
Yeah, I figured.
So that, and just for public knowledge, the aluminum is quoted at $3,054.50, and that's a clear coat. The corten is $2,932.98, and the stainless is $3,616.71.
Did she give you the actual size? I know the thickness, but is this like a 6 or 8 foot?
She said it would be a 5-foot round.
that would size nicely to the end.
So I tried to
That would
send
be
her
about the
some.
size of this opening right here in the middle of the desk.
And these letters are gonna be, they're not gonna be outlines, right? They're gonna be filled in black, where they'll be visible, because you're not gonna be able to see those pretty outlines.
I would
I would assume they
think
would be cutouts.
I was
Yeah.
assuming that it was gonna be hollow the way that she has the graphic.
Yeah, I was making sure.
So if you were powder coated white, the green would come through in the building.
Well, I will reach back out to her and ask her those very specific materials and ask her the price for the powder coat.
Just ask her thoughts on the material being a plastic, if it would hold up. And I know the weight would be a whole lot less, but,
Yes, yeah.
and if it was white, you wouldn't have to be painted.
Oh, that's
If it was all, you know, but maybe not.
If the holes are cut through, we ask them what it would cost to put, say, a solid black panel behind it and the white powder coat on the outside piece. I think that maybe would look better than the green coming through, you know, and just put a 5-foot black disc behind this.
Also give it some support too.
Box them together
And they
and,
make the plastic out black too, so they make
Yeah,
black
they-
in it too.
Okay,
so-
all right.
and they can do the plastic the same way with a
If they
backup
come
sheet
down to
bonded.
that.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll leave this for next month when we have some more answers. Okay. Misty, a resolution for your DLT sidewalk funding?
We got the grant for, the pedestrian bicycle, plan. And that is just, this grant, they've awarded us $65,000. Initially, they awarded $45,000 for all the engineering and planning, to see what it would be to repair all the sidewalks that we already have and or replace them, and then run them from the end of the village to Heritage Glen, so that the village is fully connected, and walkable. So when I said in the first meeting, there's an extra $20,000. It's a kind of a pilot program. They're starting with this group of folks that have this grant. So we do not have to pay any extra for that. Our 10% is $4,500. The extra $20,000, they wanted to see how a municipality would utilize that extra funding after this plan is complete, what you might do with that to begin an implementation of some sort, and what that would look like. So this resolution is just simply accepting that we are going to pay them the $4,500 for the $45,000 in funding that we're gonna receive for
And
that. And the 65,000 altogether, yes. So,
Don't decide what to do with the extra 20,000 till we develop the initial plans, and then we can pick something within that and start work on it.
and they will be helping us all the way through the process. They'll help guide us through, and I think that there will be some, I don't think it's just, up in the air what you do with it. They would want you to do some specific things, with it. But anyway, that is what the resolution is for, to accept the grant and to agree to pay the $4,500 for.
So you're saying the sidewalk would start at the bridge and go all the way to Heritage Glen?
Yes, sir.
The planning will.
The planning, this is not an implementation, this is a long-range plan.
These plans would now allow us to apply for federal and state funds as they become available on sidewalk grants.
That's a waste of time.
It may be or maybe not, but the 20,000 we're getting to do sidewalk repairs or whatever we wanna do.
I can see the repairs, but I can't see putting it all the way to Heritage Glen.
Well, no, that'd be a 20-year plan, is what they're talking about, yeah. And that,
DOT is always 25 years behind.
I know, but that's why they're paying everything except the 4,500, and we actually get to spend a total of 20,000 on immediate needs on the sidewalks. which we know we can spend with no problem.
Yeah.
So it
So,
may just be repairing what we never finished, like down in the village.
Right, they're gonna come in, so we do not get to choose the engineer. They have set engineers, they will assign us someone to work with. They'll come in and do an assessment of the sidewalks that we already have and what we would need to do there.
For repairs,
For repairs
or replace.
or replace.
Yeah.
And so what they will do is, there will be public meetings, there'll be a lot of input that goes into this plan. And I think that they're looking at, so part of this would, there is I've lost the exact name of it, but essentially a walk to school program that DOT has. So when you connect Heritage Glen to the school, it could make it easy if there are some parents who can or would want to walk, but also eventually we would hope that the public rec committee would have, we would be able to develop some space where you can go. And those sidewalks would allow you to walk. I mean, you could walk up to the museum or, walk up to the ball field at the school if you wanted to, and I know you're frustrated.
Barry,
We
the
can
fact
walk
that
by
we have
Barry's
this
house.
plan,
But-
we were talking
It's a
to
big
the,
waste.
yes, but it's a waste of state money, but it gives us the repair money now. And
I
it gives,
can see the repair money, but I'm just saying in the
But
long
it
run,
al-
it's gonna be the biggest waste of time.
but it also, we can take and say, we wanna put a park here, we have this sidewalk plan, you submit that as part of the Part F grant, and they'll fund the sidewalks to access the park.
I'm probably dead and gone if it ever happens.
Yes, but, if we don't start this stuff, we missed out on the last round of sidewalk funding. You saw the use of the sidewalks Greensboro put in and everything, all along 70 and everything. That's because they had the long-range plans and they got all sorts of federal money to put those in. Mebane got a lot of federal money to put in sidewalks. It's, it's hard to tell when it becomes available, but this puts us in the place where we can apply for it. And we were one of 10 municipalities across the state to get this grant. And,
So more importantly, it gives us our immediate money for repairs.
we get to immediately spend the 20,000, as soon as the plan's complete.
Yeah.
Which is less than a year. And it also allows us to apply for state grants on repairs and other stuff because, we have paperwork to support the grant request. And as Misty's rapidly discovering, grant requests live on paperwork and reports and
Yeah, if you
studies.
don't have anything, it's monopoly, do not pass go, do not collect $200.
That's it.
We were in Parks and Rec the other night, we got a 8-point checklist of everything that has to be in the preliminary Part F grant application.
It's a lot, and this is a nice thing to be able to submit, that we are looking, that federal and state grants like to see that a municipality encourages walkability or outdoor and ways to access things.
And Barry, of course, once
They
we have
do.
it, we can decide, we're gonna do 500 feet of sidewalk from the church to here.
I'm just watching Misty's
Yeah.
composure here, she's trying to be a good salesman here. Anyway,
I figure we'll put the sidewalk in next year, the other side of the state, widen 62 and tear it all out. That's my feeling.
That'd be terrible.
Well, no, because
now we're supposed to have a bypass, what you talking about?
but if the state does decide to widen 62, they're gonna replace the sidewalks just further out.
Right.
So, okay, so do we have a motion to accept this grant and authorize expending the 4,500?
Y'all be scaring me up here.
We do get the money, so.
Go ahead.
I so move.
Do we have a second? Hey, if we don't take the state money, someone else gets it. It's not like it's not going to be spent. And,
Granted, this is not for actually building a sidewalk, but for the study to keep the options open on site.
Okay. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. I assume you said yes, Barry.
I'm not voting.
You abstain? Motion carries 4-0, 1 abstention. Okay. Now, we have the Alamance County Rescue Unit, proposal. They
Yes.
would like to present.
Would y'all like to speak about that this evening? Is there anything that you'd like to talk to the board about or explain?
We'd be happy to answer questions. I didn't prepare to bring any.
That's
Yeah,
okay.
just any clarification that you might need on what we're asking.
That's, so to the best of my knowledge, you guys are hoping, you're gonna take signed resolutions to the county commissioners in the hopes that they would implement a countywide tax that would help sustain your program.
That's correct.
Is that, okay?
What sort of tax rate are you looking at?
1/4 cent. So that would be, if we get a full tax valuation in the entire county, 1/4 cent would give us right in line with like your local fire departments, Holt. The other ones right along, I guess it was gonna bring us about five or 600,000 for the entire county.
You say a quarter of a,
1/4 cent.
like per hundred.
1/4 cent.
Yeah.
Translate
25 cents
a
behind.
median property value of about 350,000 in the county, that would translate to about $7 a year for the taxpayer.
Because wait a minute, because I'm thinking, I know,
It's a quarter of a penny.
A quarter.
not 25 cents.
No,
Quarter of, right,
Quarter of a penny.
because I was like, yeah, I know what Holtz was this year, it's about 10, but. So you would get it from the whole county. Well, can you tell us, so this is the question I had when I first seen that, and luckily I had someone I worked with that. So I had a relative that worked for this division. So you have the EMS trucks, I call them the blue and white, that come out when somebody's at their house, they have a heart attack, let's say. And then you are in the green and white. So can you tell us the difference? Like, so,
We have to. So originally back in 1956, when we were established, we were started by a handful of Oregon firemen. We started Alamance County Rescue. They saw the need for, that was before EMS was in the county. So if you had a medical emergency before rescue was there, your funeral homes went and picked up the patient and rushed you to the hospital as fast as you could. If they made it. If you didn't, they got some business. So rescue came about. We got into specialty rescues, like cutting people out of their automobiles, taking people to the hospital. We had some old ambulances we started with in the 50s. About the 70s, the county saw a need that there would be a paid EMS service, that there was more trucks, funding, that kind of thing. We were all purely volunteer, still are, and fundraise for our money. The county gives us a little bit of money each year, but as the growing times and prices of things increase, we're looking for more sustainability, so that we can grow just like your fire departments do. We're one of the only dive rescue in the county, the water rescue dedicated team that has boats and swift water technicians, high angle, so your rope rescue stuff, trench rescue, confined space, and we have wilderness search and rescue. So we have several dogs that do search on the water and on land.
I believe you guys came out to our 62 pump station when we had a dog that fell in.
My wife was the one that got rid of
Okay, I knew you had come,
I made
okay.
her shower at the rescue.
Time got slowed down.
Yes, that was us.
Yes,
And we were here, I guess it was last fall, when the gentleman that fell out of the tree behind the church.
oh
We
my
were here on
goodness.
that one as well. As far as recent events goes.
They're a huge resource to the entire county. I know the fire department can only do so much. These guys really step in when we need some technical rescue help. Also, when we have large fires, they provide rehab services. They also, as everybody knows, the county's growing. The village of Alamance is growing. You know, we're all growing. And Alamance County EMS runs out of ambulances quite frequently. And these guys step up and run a transport to support that when they're out of ambulances. So that should have been funded many years ago. This is, this is a great thing if it were to get approved and.
Like Chris says, most of it is just donations and fundraisers and portraits and that sort of thing, so, you know, y'all's budget's what, a little over 100,000?
125.
And how many people do you have?
We have, on our roster, 70 volunteers. And that includes senior members that are not so active anymore and, several junior members, so the ones that, like myself, I started when I was 14 years old there. And, so we have a few of those trying to get them started young into the service, so pretty good roster.
I'm gonna go back on the other side, so you know how the other truck, the EMS, the blue and white, I call it, because that's who always comes out in the neighborhood when somebody has a, you know, how fallen and that kind of thing.
Yes,
So
sir.
how are they funded versus?
They are a county agency or a county department, and they have a budget to the county.
Huh,
And
We're a 501c3 nonprofit. We're not a county agency.
Just like the fire department, they operate just the exact same.
huh. Okay, learn a lot, because we didn't know all this, you know, like I said.
Yeah, and honestly, full transparency, that's always been our struggle, is getting confused with, everybody confuses us with EMS. Which we do a lot of the same things that they do, so I can see the confusion. And it's terminology too. Rescue used to mean ambulance.
Yeah, right.
And now it's, you know, took in a different form.
It's the big green truck.
We're green, they're blue.
Have you got any more, you know, the response you got from the other communities, or are we the?
We're working on that as we speak. Before we go to the commissioners, we have, OSPI so far, and, working on several others. Nevin just emailed me back today, so we have to plan to go to their meeting, and, working on Burlington as well, so.
Thank you for your quick response, because some of the larger municipalities are a lot of bureaucracy to come get through, to get in front of commissioners or aldermen, so it's tough sometimes just to get on the agenda.
I mean, you got the old water rescue in the county,
Right.
supported by donation,
Right.
Well, I'm sure
I
you
think this
guys
is a
played a
wonderful
big
idea.
role with Hall River when all the flooding happened.
We, for Chantel, so last year, Chantel, that was one of our busiest water rescue nights that, in my career there, 21 years. We ran over 60 calls of service for water rescue across the county. We had, at one point, 5 different separate boat teams in different corners of the county running water rescue calls.
If you don't exist, who does that?
Other counties, and eventually, with millions of dollars and a lot of headache and everything else, the fire departments, you know, if we didn't exist. We have one of the only dive teams in the surrounding county. If you're not aware, there was a dive crew out of Greensboro called GASP. They just folded probably a year and a half ago. So we retained some of their members that came to us, but outside of that, you're waiting a long time to get dive support anywhere. It's one of those specialty teams that, unless you're established, it takes a really, really long time. Training, man hours, and equipment to make it happen.
So you have to go in other counties if you're asked?
So yeah, we do have mutual aid agreements with other counties. We're actually state response teams as well for like Swiftwater if we're needed, with the stipulation that, hey, if there's a hurricane, if it's gonna affect this county, we're not going anywhere. But if it's localized to the coast or the mountains, as in Helene, we could respond a team. When they had tornadoes in Fayetteville probably 15 years ago, we responded to crash truck there to help with structural collapse and stuff like that.
And the biggest part of this push now is because in the 2025-26 budget for the county, there was a lot of consternation about trying to keep the budget down. The county manager couldn't find a way to pay all of the county employees, so why would she pay outside agencies? And our request got moved from 125 to 0. So that's kind of what we were facing, is that we're, depending on who the commissioners are sitting there, we might decide, well, we can't afford to do this as an outside agency and just zero us out. So it did work out in the end, but it put in our minds that, you know, we're in a tenuous situation with, you know, someone decide that, well, we're just no, we're not gonna do it this year.
And the more time that we focus on, not that fundraising is bad, it's a great thing, but focus on fighting for our budget each year. Because if the commissioners change, we're back at square one. County manager, same thing. The more time we spend on that, it was my first year as chief when all that went down, the hurricane and fighting for the budget. So I was thrown the whole pie. And, you know, that took a lot of my time away from focusing on making the department better, running calls, you know, making sure my folks have what they need. So to have a budget or a service district that was dedicated to us would mean the world as far as making sure that we keep up on our equipment, the ever-growing cost of equipment and maintenance, and making sure we have everything we need to respond in the entire county.
And they save the fire departments on the back end a lot of money. You know, it's like diving, like you were saying, you know, that's not something we're gonna run every day. We might go 2 years and never run a call where we have to have a dive. But that one time that we do, they're there. So it saves money for the fire departments not invest in that equipment to do that when we have a county resource there willing and able to do it.
I think the fact he's county-wide, I don't have problems supporting this at all.
It's hard to put a price on somebody's life,
Right.
especially
That's
if
for
it's
sure.
yours.
I mean,
That's
you
what I'm
can't-
looking at.
It's-
You can't put a price on
You
it.
can't, you know, like, that's why I asked, you know, they don't exist, who does this? It's like, I don't wanna be that person that didn't, you know.
No.
I appreciate y'all giving us that information, because I was just not aware of the two differences and that you were not.
I thought it all fell under.
Yeah,
And do us the favor of passing that information along.
Right.
Yeah, I
So,
thought
you know,
you
tell
get some.
everybody, because it has been confusing for years.
Does anyone want to make a motion to support this resolution for the creation of a countywide tax base for the Alamance County Rescue Unit?
I'll make a motion.
Also,
All in favor?
aye.
Opposed, motion carries 5-0. Okay. Okay, at this point, well, let me sign this. And August. Pass that over to Anna. Okay, at this point, I'm going to open the meeting up for public comment. Anyone who wants to can address the board on any matter and come up and state your name and address and, feel free to talk.
Okay, Nadine Sharp, 4432 South NC 62. The last meeting, I could not hear nothing that went on. So, excuse me. So the discussion and all about the cars at the house next to my son, I did not hear any of that. Okay, I think we need to look at that a little bit more. Those cars stay there all the time. They're not moved and everything. This week, over the weekend, there are 3 more cars, but they came down my driveway over and are parked sort of in the woods back there. Are they gonna start a junk pile or what? So
Are the cars on your property?
they're not on my property. But do we want to let them start a junk thing or? I just wanted to bring that to your attention, that one of the vehicles came in on a tow truck.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you, Nadine. Do we have any other public comment? Check.
Good evening, my name is Chad Huffine. I'm a local civil engineer in the county. And I just wanted to introduce myself to you because we are hopefully bringing to the village staff a new project up here at the intersection of Rob Shepherd. We're looking to bring a coffee shop to the village. And I just wanted you to put a name with a face when you started seeing drawings or reports or plans or things that are coming across your desk or the planning board's desk or that are occupying some of the staff's time here at the office. This is the outfit that's trying to get a coffee shop here. So if you have any questions over the next couple of months as we work through the zoning and planning and the land use type things that you all are gonna be involved with, and then the technical parts of the project that we'll work with, I'm available, Misty knows how to reach me. So, just wanted to say hello, nice to meet you all, and we look forward to working with you.
It's been a long time coming, because everybody keeps asking.
Chad is presenting to the planning board tomorrow night. And, the first go around of what they wanna do.
We'll be very, informative at that meeting. This is just to let you know it's coming.
You have
Let
a
you know
date
who's
of
gonna be
when you
speaking
would
to
like to see this thing in operation?
The citizens and the conversations I hear is it couldn't be fast enough.
Right.
So we'll do our best to get it done that way. That's what I wanted to say to you all tonight. We appreciate it very much.
Thank you, Chad. Any other public comment? Okay, Sarah?
Katara, 14412, Highway 62. I just wanted to ask a question. Did you get confirmation from your roofer that he would do the warranty like the other guy?
Yeah. He
All
did.
that's covered.
He did do the 10-year extended, and he wrote that into the contract.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Okay. Any other public comment? Okay, I'll move out of public comment. Is there any other board business, anything that the board wants to bring up? If not, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We stand adjourned.
Policy, should reach out to,